Hello and welcome to Email and Coffee. Today we're going to talk a little bit about lists, not only the size but their origin. So a lot of people will hold off on their email marketing because they'll think that their list isn't large enough, or that it's not good enough, or they're too worried about their content or their website or so many other things that they're just not focused on getting their list together. And really, your content is no better than how your list will perform. So you could have the best content in the world. You could have hired a fantastic writer. Your website can be delicious, and your list may be lacking. And that may be because you've purchased it, or you're using an old list. You haven't paid enough attention to where your list is coming from. And where should it come from? It should be organic. And that means that you should have been collecting it through website captures, possibly through social interactions, social being your Facebook, LinkedIn, your Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, contacts and followers, asking them to join your list. You should be networking and asking people to join your list, telling them about your website. If you have a blog, you can do it through gated content. That means sometimes you pay to get your landing page as a search result, and the people that land on it are invited to join a list in order to get some sort of content that it represents what you do. So these ways of getting names are excellent and slow. You're not going to turn around, start it on Monday and find out on Friday that you've got 5,000 people. If you do, here's to you. Slow and steady wins the race. And you can start email marketing with 25 people. Because by word of mouth, now that you've got a good list, by word of mouth, they'll say, I'm getting this great stuff from somebody. I really think you should sign up. If you've got a small store, the day that you open your small store, you can start email marketing with a small list. Because again, it is about word of mouth once you start sharing your great content. Now, a little bit about purchase lists, which a lot of people will shun or tell you never to do or don't even want to talk about it. Now, there's different ways of purchasing lists. So you can do email marketing through networking, and by that I mean instead of you asking somebody for their email address, you actually are part of a small network with associations, and you exchange content with them. So maybe they have a large list, and you say to them, I have a service, product that I'd like to expose to your contacts. Would that be okay? And they say, sure. I would put something nice together for them. That is my suggestion. Put something nice together for them and give it to them and let them send it to their list. Don't take their list and send it out of your email service provider. Let them send it and see what happens. Again, it's about word of mouth. Make sure that in your content, you've got your website, you've got your social, you've got your capture form. Somewhere in there, you're capturing them and bringing them over to you. That's one way of doing it with a list that is not yours. You're not purchasing it. You're using a list that is not yours. The purchase list would be great for cold marketing. And by cold marketing, I really do mean you don't know these people. They don't know you. They may or may not have a relationship to your brand. They may the broker that you're purchasing the list from will swear that there is a relationship. You could take that with a grain of salt. And you're not necessarily going to bombard them with your general email campaigns. You're really going to smartly strategize some content that identifies them as possibly a lead for you, some amount of warmth between them and you. So you may want to get a small purchase list to see if there's business to be had between the two of you. You've probably seen these cold emails in your email box. They look like plain content. They don't have pictures. They're very simple emails to you asking you if you're interested in their services. You're probably ignoring them, which is possibly the majority of the result of how these cold emails are handled. But those that do reply to you, depending on how much you buy the list for and do convert, may make up for it. And that's the concept of cold email marketing. A lot of people swear by it, and it's not to be your only marketing. It can be used as an experiment. You don't necessarily want to use the same email service provider, or at least the same email address that you're sending your captured contacts, your contacts. You don't want to mix the two up. They're really not the same. And cold email marketing does not work for every industry. If you're a salesman or woman and you're selling a particular service or product, like you've got some sort of software as a service, or you're a small business entrepreneur, a solopreneur, and you want to sell your services, this is how the purchase list could possibly work. But if you're selling shoes or food, or a lot of product, you've got a big store, you maybe have brick and mortar, and you've got a web presence, you don't want to be fooling with purchase lists. There's really no purpose. Focus everything on capturing real, honest to goodness customers that will buy your product, will be loyal to your brand, and will continue to buy from you from one day forward. And then by word of mouth, they'll sell your product to their friends, and so on and so forth. And again, it's not the size. Don't get hung up. Oh, but I've only got a few hundred. A few hundred is a good place to start. Got to start somewhere. So reconsider that how important your list is, that it may be more important than your content, and get those methods in place to gather your contacts that align with your brand, that become your customers, that have loyalty, that are real. And hey, happy email marketing, y'all.